folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, sir.
Yes, have some.
All right, welcome to it, the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. That listen live link is in the top right corner. There's an app for that, too. The KWAM app. Go to your app store, Android, Apple, doesn't matter. There's an app. Search KWAM in your app store. We're also on the YouTube, the Nation of Jake channel. Run it all together, Nation of Jake. Subscribe to the channel. Carmen subscribed. James subscribed. Paul's up there. Wolfman's there. There's a live chat as well. Trying to get the YouTube thing going. My own channel. Maybe I'll be a YouTube star one day and make millions. I'll share it. I'll be philanthropic with my fortune. Here we are this Wednesday, June 12th, year of our Lord 2019. Mostly sunny, 80 degrees, high of 82 today. So we're about there. Mostly sunny and glorious for early June, early to mid-June in the great city of Memphis. Right now, the kids are out of school, so I'm sure they're going places like the zoo. Maybe they're going downtown to Tom Lee Park to go slide down the hill at Beale Street Landing. My kid's at camp. I send her away to camp, and they do all kinds of stuff. Yesterday was a water slide. Today they're in the pool. They're swimming. The worst part about sending your kid to camp is putting sunscreen on your kid. It's really the worst. My kid's 7. Eva is 7. It's not like putting sunscreen all over and she's uncomfortable with it. I got to get the eyelids. And then I'm like, all right, if she runs around in sweats and this sunscreen gets in her eyes, it's going to burn her little eyes. So what I need to do is just do it real quick, get her off to camp before she starts sweating, which is great because it's only like 80 degrees. So maybe her eyes won't be burning right now. I'm sure I'll get a phone call or a text. And it says, oh, Mr. Cook, your kid's eyes are burning because you put too much sunscreen on her eyelids. And they're like, hey, ease up on the sunscreen out there. You can't do it, man. I used to run around every summer on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and I don't know who the hell was supposed to be watching us, but nobody was. And I'd get these sunburns. Oh, they were the worst. And I don't want my kids to get sunburned. So my kid is like, Dad, quit. Can I just do my own sunscreen? I was like, no, because you're 7 and you don't know how to do it. And if you get a sunburn, I'm going to feel awful. I do this. You know why I do this? She says, because you don't want me to get burned. I said, because you love me. And that's exactly it. And I don't want her to get burned. How'd you get burned? Okay, so in the news today on the program, lawmakers have responded to Jon Stewart's impassioned plea to take action on the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. Stewart's speech, forceful, impassioned, went viral. But was it effective? We'll get into that. Also, they've unveiled the Johnny Cash statue in Cooper Young. And as far as statues go, this one looks pretty good. Statues have been hit or miss. I've seen some awful statues, awful busts. This one looks pretty good. And here in Memphis, we're down a few statues. I've been told this city is under-statued. What do you think? We could always use more statues. So I asked on the Facebook page, go find Nation of Jake on Facebook, what other icons deserve statues in Memphis in the Mid-South? I've got some great answers, some obvious ones and some not so obvious icons who should be commemorated with a statue in the great city, the Bluff City. Maybe Jimmy Smits. Maybe Bluff City Law will be huge and Jimmy Smits will have his own statue here in Memphis. Also, there's been some debate over the U.S. women's national team. We were talking about the World Cup yesterday. I prefer the U.S. women's national team. I think that women are tougher when it comes to soccer. There's not as much flopping. These ladies go out there with something to prove. They beat Thailand 13-0 in the opening round of the World Cup. 13-0. Now, just using the conventional conversion methods into other sports, a 13-0 soccer score is roughly equivalent to a 91-0 baseball score. 91-0. Imagine a baseball game that lopsided. That's what you saw in the World Cup. Now, the debate, is it okay to celebrate when you're up big in a soccer match? And that debate spills into other debates around a lopsided score like that one. And we'll talk about it, but this is not U8 girls soccer. All right, this is not my kids' soccer team. This is the top tier, top level soccer or football. I always get yelled at. So we'll talk about that. There's a new government waste report out, and we got all the headlines in the news crew. So, full slate on the Nation of Jake today. Let's start with the big news, or whatever I'm told is big news. Here's the thing about it. Often, big news, breaking news, the notification-worthy news that you get on your phone, it's all stories that are not going to affect you directly, at least not in your community, maybe not even ever. But the big thing today, I got the notification, multiple notifications on this one. It's in the CBS top of the hour news reports. White House asserts executive privilege in census fight. Because I know this is something that's been keeping you up at night. It's like, oh my God, the 2020 census is coming up. Oh my God, are they going to ask about my citizenship? I'm clear, but what about those people who aren't citizens? I don't know. Well, just to allay your fears, they're all over this. All right, from the House Oversight Committee, President Trump is paying attention. The Supreme Court is a big issue. So they say. President Donald Trump has asserted executive privilege over documents that were subpoenaed by Congress related to the Trump administration's decision to add citizenship question to the 2020 census, the Justice Department said Wednesday. The claim comes as the House Oversight Committee considers whether to hold Attorney General William Barr and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross in contempt for failing to turn over the subpoenaed documents. Now, why is this a big deal? Because the Democrats, Elijah Cummings and AOC, they fear the question will reduce census participation in immigrant-heavy communities. They want documents that outline why this question will be on the census. What was the decision-making? What was the rationale? Because they think it's racist and partisan and political. Well, Donald Trump saying, no, I'm going to exert executive privilege over those documents. You're not going to see them. This is going to the Supreme Court. They're going to decide whether or not the question will go on the census. And in the meantime, you're not going to see anything. Well, now, the administration's refusal to turn over the documents does not appear to be an effort to engage in good faith efforts to comply. This is according to Elijah Cummings of the House Oversight Committee. He says instead, it appears to be part of a policy of defiance of congressional authority. And that phrase, defiance of congressional authority, is what this is about. And it's what everything's been about for the last 2.5 years, especially since the 2018 elections. All right, especially since the Democrats took control of the House of Representatives. This is about control. This is a power struggle. All right, Democrats don't like the question because they know or they believe it will hurt them with regards to representation in the House. People who aren't citizens will be less likely to partake in the census and be counted towards those constituencies, and therefore you may lose some representation because Democrats know that people who are here illegally are a voting bloc for them. So you might think, that's why they pander to them so much, because they vote. They vote. They come into the country. They're activists. People activate on behalf of them. So it's a big constituency for a lot of people. So that's really it. It's the power struggle of it all. Wilbur Ross, the Secretary of Commerce, he told the House Oversight Committee that the decision to add the question was based on a Justice Department request to help it enforce the Voting Rights Act. Now, it only makes sense. I mean, think about this for a second. Whenever you go apply for a job, you have to check the box that asks you the question, are you a U.S. citizen? And not only do you have to check the box, you have to prove it. In order to work in this country, you have to prove the I-9 documents you have to provide is like one from list A or B, whatever it is. Pretty much you have to prove A, your identity, B, your eligibility to work in the United States. It can be satisfied by a state-issued ID and a Social Security card or a passport. U.S. passport's one of the only things you got to have. That said, to work in this country, to do a lot of stuff, you have to be a citizen. You got to prove it. Well, why should the census be any different? I mean, we're talking about who's here. Who is here, regardless if you're a citizen or not? Who is here? They call it undocumented. Well, the census is trying to document these things. And I think it's okay. I don't think that it's a racist question. It's just a factual matter. Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you here in the country legally? In that way, when employers do go to recruit or to hire people, well, then they know. Here you go. If we have people who are here who are documented, get them legal. I'm all for a path to citizenship, okay? I'm all about the best and the brightest from all over the world coming to the United States and having a chance to better their lives or pursue their dreams. I'm not against it, but why can't we have the path to citizenship where everybody comes through, we know who you are, and they know who I am since I was a kid, since I got a Social Security number, or even before, birth certificate. It's been documented. When I was born, when I got a Social Security number, which, by the way, was way late. I found out I didn't have a Social Security number until I was like 5 or 6 years old. I don't know if that was something that people did in the 80s. But seriously, I've got a Social Security number from Georgia. I didn't get to Georgia till kindergarten. I'm like, wait a second. Why? I thought most people get that stuff done when they're born. I don't know. That said, we need to document who is here, and what better way is when we're all counting every 10 years on the census. And this is going to the Supreme Court. And this is also pretty interesting with regards to the Supreme Court. I remember during the Obamacare Supreme Court case, when Obamacare was drafted and passed, all the lawmakers, Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, President Obama himself, said, no, this individual mandate is not a tax. It's not a tax. It's a penalty. It's not a tax. They argued and sold it. Is it not being a tax? Well, when it got to the Supreme Court, this Don Vermicelli guy, Don Vermilli, who was he was arguing on behalf of the president and Obamacare. He was defending Obamacare in front of the Supreme Court. He argued it was a tax. And in this situation, you've got the Trump administration arguing before the Supreme Court that this is a way for the DOJ to enforce the Voting Rights Act. But now the House Oversight Committee is saying, no. We want the underlying documents because we think this is politically motivated, so we want to know what your intentions were before. But if you look back when they were litigating Obamacare before the Supreme Court, nobody said, oh, by the way, you said it wasn't a tax. You said it wasn't a tax when you passed it, but now you're arguing it is a tax and that Congress has the power to tax. You see what I'm saying? Does it matter what the intentions were with regards to the argument before the Supreme Court? I mean, if it didn't matter then, it doesn't matter now, right? Let's have some consistency. So we'll see if this is as big a deal as it's being billed today. Democrats have accused the Trump administration of failing to comply with subpoenas in an effort to stonewall Congress's oversight power. Well, think about that for a second. They think that failing to comply with subpoenas in an effort to stonewall Congress's oversight power, I'm pretty sure that exposes Congress's lack of oversight power. If people are just skirting subpoenas left and right, I'm not going to show up. And this is not specific to the Trump administration. Didn't you have Eric Holder, the AG, under the Obama administration? He skirted subpoenas for years. For years. So it really just exposes the Congress's lack of oversight power. Republicans on the other side have criticized these hearings as a waste of time and have called for Democrats to move on. Move on. You know who agrees with that? I think Jon Stewart. I think Jon Stewart would agree that all this stuff with the Mueller probe and all this stuff with all these subpoenas and contempt hearings is kind of taken away from what's really important. Jon Stewart, former host of The Daily Show and The Jon Stewart Show on MTV a long time ago, he was in front of Congress yesterday with an impassioned speech, got a standing ovation, just eviscerating Congress for their lack of attention in the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. We'll take a little bit of a listen to what Jon Stewart said, and was it effective? Did he get through to them? We'll talk about it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and health care is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Robinwood Retirement Resort, an all-inclusive senior living community that is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. For more information, call 901-381-8949. Ave Maria's Rehab Greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you. Lightwave Solar is the trusted source for solar energy systems in the Mid-South. Lightwave Solar is hosting a commercial solar workshop at the South Haven Chamber of Commerce on Friday, June 28th at 10 a.m. Mississippi business owners are encouraged to attend to learn more about the costs and benefits of solar energy for their buildings. See how solar works with a tour of the solar equipment installed at the South Haven Chamber. Register at lightwavesolar.com.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
That's the number that could save you up to 30% on your energy bills. Call today and Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning will hook you up with an AC tune-up. Right now, save $20 on an AC tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on the YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Run it all together. Nation of Jake there on YouTube. We'll have some highlights of the program on Facebook. And, of course, the Nation of Jake podcast will be available for download just a little bit after the show concludes. All right, so yesterday, the viral video du jour was Jon Stewart. And here's the thing about Jon Stewart. I like Jon Stewart. All right, Jon Stewart, he and I probably don't go hand in hand on politics. I mean, I don't really think that we would see eye to eye as far as our politics. But he's a funny guy. Before he was host of The Daily Show, before he took over for Craig Kilborn, he did his own show on MTV. And it was more music and celebrities and stuff. I mean, some great performances back on the old Jon Stewart show on MTV. Yesterday, though, he was in front of Congress, and he eviscerated them for their inaction on the 9/11 Victim Compensation Fund. You may have seen some clips. It was all over the place. Here's a little bit from Jon Stewart.
They attacked America and these men and women. And their response to it is what brought our country back. It's what gave a reeling nation a solid foundation to stand back upon, to remind us of why this country is great, of why this country is worth fighting for. And you are ignoring them. And you can end it tomorrow. Why this bill isn't unanimous consent and a standalone issue is beyond my comprehension. And I have yet to hear a reasonable explanation for why. It'll get stuck in some transportation bill or some appropriations bill and get sent over to the Senate, where a certain someone from the Senate will use it as a political football to get themselves maybe another new import tax on petroleum. Because that's what happened to us in 2015. And we won't allow it to happen again. Thank God for people like John Field. Thank God for people like Ray Pfeiffer. Thank God for all of these people who will not let it happen.
So there's Jon Stewart on the floor of Congress and in front of the Judiciary Committee, I believe, which was like half empty. There are a lot of empty chairs. He made it a point to show that the chairs were empty. And now this is an issue that Jon Stewart has taken on, and this is not the first time that he has been the mouthpiece for the first responders for the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. He has done this before, and I think it's great. Look, Jon Stewart, when he was doing the highly partisan Daily Show, I think he got sick of it. He got sick of getting up every day just facing politics, and he started to see something else. I think that Jon Stewart started to see that, man, people are taking what I do, which is satire, and this is where they're getting their news. And then he saw other news personalities, like Rachel Maddow, for instance. I recall Jon Stewart on the Rachel Maddow program, and she was kind of like trying to curry favor with him and trying to impress him with some of the stuff that she said as far as jokes go, as far as, the hyper-partisanship goes. And he said, you know what, it's okay when I do it because I do a comedy show, but when people like you do it, it's not funny and it's not right. And now I'm paraphrasing, of course. But everybody kind of saw what Jon Stewart was doing, saw that, he he would always go on these brilliant rants that he and his writers would put together. And he's a smart guy. And so I think that there was a little bit of a change. He probably still has the same politics that he always did, but he knows that he has a certain talent for lighting a fire and for pointing out hypocrisy. He's very good at it. So what he's decided to do was get on board with a very important cause, something that everybody should be on board with. I mean, he's right. There's no reason why this issue shouldn't be a standalone bill, not attached to anything, not part of some omnibus legislation. It shouldn't be political. It should be unanimous. He's right. He's right about this. And here's the deal, Jon Stewart. He's being proactive. You know, the fund has not run out. The fund will run out. He wants legislation that will ensure that it never runs out. That's what he wants. That's a proactive measure. And before anybody says, well, where's Donald Trump on this? Where's Donald Trump on this? Jon Stewart has actually praised the Trump administration's Department of Justice in administering the benefits. Here he is doing just that.
Country. And I'm going to say this now. I hope, are the cameras on? Is everybody on me? The Trump Justice Department is doing an excellent job administrating this program. The claims are going through faster, and the awards are coming through. The Trump Justice Department, I don't know about anything else. I'm not going to comment on anything else. But that's why we're in the problem that we're in, is the program works exactly like it's.
So it works exactly like it's supposed to. It just needs to be funded. And Congress has the power of the purse. And Jon Stewart goes before them and rips them. Eviscerates Congress. But here's the thing that Jon Stewart obviously doesn't know. The Congress is much too busy laying the groundwork for impeachment. The House is currently booked with hearings on the Mueller probe, which has been both completed and released. They're interviewing character witnesses like John Dean, who wasn't there for the Mueller probe. He was a guy who worked for Nixon a long time ago, lied to Congress then, so they're going to bring him out in front. So Jon Stewart, they're busy. They're busy with this impeachment stuff. Also, Jon Stewart, Congress has its hands full debating a congressional pay raise. All right? Congress wants to give themselves a pay raise. And it's not even like a raise at all. If you ask somebody like AOC, I mean, she's for pay raises for everybody. I mean, AOC saying, look, just a $4,500 a year raise, that's not even really like a raise. It's a cost of living increase. They make $174,000 a year. So I don't know, Jon Stewart. They're busy. And when they're not doing all that, voting themselves pay raises, they're looking for ways to regulate social media because somebody put a mean video of Nancy Pelosi on the internet and Facebook wouldn't take it down. So they're debating what to do about social media. So many big things they're working on, Jon Stewart. So get out of here with this proactive maneuver to ensure that first responders during 9/11 get medical attention they need. And let the VA handle it. I mean, they've been screwing the guys who served this country for a long time. Just say, you know what? Just put it all together. Put it all together. No, don't. I'm being sarcastic here. What Jon Stewart is doing is really good. And I think it's actually effective. Because it says here that a House panel has now advanced a bill to boost the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. How about that? That's amazing. You know, when you can use your talents, like Jon Stewart's got a lot of talent. He's been able to really strike a chord with people, and it was proven when he was on The Daily Show. Remember Craig Kilborn did The Daily Show? It was just fun. It was fluff. With Jon Stewart, people started taking it seriously. They started watching The Daily Show to form opinions on stuff. So he's using his voice for something like this that we all should agree on, which that's a way to unite people and to do some good stuff. It turns out here a House panel advanced a bill that would grant additional funding for the September 11th Victims Compensation Fund until 2090. The bill passed a committee voice vote that was without opposition. Well, of course, who's going to oppose that a day after Jon Stewart just embarrassed you for not being there? The fund's administrator said in February that it did not have enough money to pay all the claims. The 9/11 attack has been linked to health issues such as cancer in first responders and others. You know, some of these guys went in, they inhaled all kinds of nasty stuff as a result of those buildings falling, being knocked down. And then after a while, they start getting sick. And it could be linked to that because they were in a hurry. You know, getting the proper respiratory equipment, protection wasn't an option in the days ensuing or that day. And so, listen, I'm glad Jon Stewart did what he did. It was powerful, and it was the right thing to do. And this is what he's been doing. Listen, I totally got it. Everybody was so upset when Jon Stewart left The Daily Show. I totally got it. I understood. Because, you know, in my own little corner of the internet and on the radio, I mean, I get tired too. And I could only imagine with the stage that he had and how it was all magnified that this guy was tired of it. Every day, the negativity and the vitriol. And now he's using his talents to do stuff like this. Now that's effective. And here's the thing about it. People say, oh, Jon Stewart needs to run for office. No, he's way more effective doing what he's doing than he is. Why would he want to run for office? Why would you want that kind of heat? And Jon Stewart's got tens of millions of dollars. He doesn't need the $174,000 that AOC makes. And it's not enough for her. She just got there. She was a bartender. Now she wants she was a raise. Get out of here. So good on Jon Stewart, and I'm glad these guys felt enough shame to respond. Keep doing what if we just do that on all the issues that unite us, that are all kind of no-brainer issues, and that's how you get stuff done. Jon Stewart just showed you how. All right, coming up, there's a lot of debate about the Women's World Cup, which is really just the World Cup. If you think about it, you should say World Cup when you're referring to the U.S. women's national team in the World Cup, and then Men's World Cup, because that's really how it all boils out. There's some debate on their blowout win over Thailand. Did they behave appropriately? I'll answer that question coming up next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. President Trump has invoked executive privilege to keep the House Oversight Committee from probing into the administration's efforts to get a citizenship question on next year's census forms. Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings.
Now the president is asserting executive privilege over all of these documents. This begs the question, what is being hidden?
Now, the president says the citizenship question is being considered by the Supreme Court. A decision is expected soon. Georgia Republican Jody Hice questions the Democrats' motivation.
Why is it that the Democrats are fighting tooth and nail to prevent that question from being asked? That is the issue here.
Ohio's Jim Jordan.
This is just another last-ditch attempt by the Democrats to muddy the waters around the citizenship question in a desperate hope that it will influence the Supreme Court's consideration of this issue.
CBS News Update. I'm Jim Shenovich.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
ATC Fitness would like to announce their new partnership with Silver Sneakers. That's right, ATC Fitness now accepts Silver Sneakers members. ATC Fitness is your local, family-owned 24-hour gym. Get started on the right track with their easy-to-follow instructions and demonstrations. Remember, if you are a Silver Sneakers member, come to any ATC Fitness throughout the Mid-South. Check them out online at atcfitness.com to find the nearest location to you.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
The June edition of The Best Times is now available, and as always, it's filled with valuable and interesting information. There's one article everyone in the Mid-South should read about how and why to protect your identity, especially using your smartphone. Also, there's an interview with the new CEO of the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, Beverly Robertson. The Best Times is available at over 250 locations, including all Kroger stores, CVS pharmacies, the YMCA, and your local library. Pick up your copy and keep yourself informed. You'll be glad you did.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube. Just find Nation of Jake on YouTube. That's one word, Nation of Jake. All right, so I did not catch the soccer match yesterday. The USWNT, that would be the U.S. Women's National Team. They beat Thailand 13-0. 13-0. You know, a lot of soccer games are 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1. It's a low-scoring affair. A lot of defense being played. That's the art of the game. You got a good goalkeeper and you got a good squad. You're not going to give up a lot of goals. 13 goals in soccer is like 91 runs in baseball. It's like 147 points in football. Those are just rough conversions that I've come up with. That said, there's a debate now. Yeah, the women's national team is now defending itself against criticism that it humiliated Thailand in its record 13-0 Women's World Cup victory in France on Tuesday. Thailand's players were in tears at the full-time whistle after suffering the heaviest defeat in World Cup history at the hands of the U.S. Now, people on social media, they criticized the defending champions, the U.S. women, for celebrating each goal. But Alex Morgan, who became only the second American to score 5 in a World Cup match, told reporters that every goal counts. And yes, goal differential does count, say, in the event of a tiebreaker. When you move on, if you don't score enough goals, that's how they determine who can move on. So 13-0 goal differential, that's a nice little pad. So you don't take the foot off the gas and you don't quit scoring in a World Cup match. G-Man is here. G-Man is the PA announcer for Memphis 901 FC. So you watch a lot of soccer and you're a fan of soccer. Is the criticism fair?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes.
Oh, hold on. What mic are you on? What the hell, Greg? Get out. Okay.
Mike 2.
So wait, the criticism is fair of the U.S. women's national team.
Yes and no. It's if the celebrations are excessive, then yes, but you still need to, like you said, the goals matter.
All right. So the debate here is not whether the U.S. women's national team should have taken the foot off the gas.
I think it's the celebration thing is
right.
It should be the issue.
There are some people saying that, listen, you ran up the score on them, 13-0. You ran up the score. And to me, it's a different debate. There are people, I guess, maybe conflating this. Because I'm on Twitter, and people are saying, oh, all these men who are criticizing these women. And I don't think it's about that. I think that if the U.S. men's national team went out and did this and were celebrating every goal, you'd have the same debate.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's not about humiliating Thailand by beating them 13-0. Because last I checked, Thailand qualified for the tournament, and they are a team that they belong on the same field. I mean, they earned their way there, and they should be treated with the respect of, you're going to get my best. And it's really hard to take your foot off the gas in soccer, isn't it?
Yeah, you only get 3 substitutions. So it's not like baseball where you can just be like, hey, let's just swap out half of the players that are in the field.
Right.
And we can throw out some pitcher that doesn't usually pitch all that much.
Right. Like, yeah, in baseball, if we're up 91-0, like the 13-0 soccer match would be 91-0 in baseball. Yeah, hey, shock troops, get on out there. Guys who don't play much, bench warmers, get on out. We're not going to take extra bases. We're not going to steal. We're not going to steal home. In baseball, you can make decisions that will affect the outcome of the games, maybe speed it along. Same with football. If you're up 7 touchdowns, you're not going to throw the ball down the field. You're probably going to run the ball, which makes more sense because when you throw the ball, 3 things can happen, 2 are bad. So you do things that make sense for the game. In soccer, you're out there. You're playing. You're on offense and defense simultaneously. You cannot stop the game and take the foot off the gas. It's harder to do. It's also disrespectful to your opponent to do that.
Because then it just looks like you're messing with the other team. If you're that dominant in the game, you could just sit there and hold the ball and pass it the entire time. And that
and they can take it away from you and score.
Yeah.
So you risk that. And so I guess it's really this. Running up the score, to me, doesn't even exist. The job that the opponent has, in this case Thailand, their job is to stop the U.S. women from the start of the game, all 90 minutes of it, extra time, garbage time, whatever they call that. It's your job to stop the other team. Running up the score, to me, doesn't exist at all. That said, the debate is over whether or not they celebrated excessively. Did they?
Well, and then if you want to say, well, they shouldn't have been celebrating so much, well, it's like, well, stop them. Don't give them the opportunity to celebrate on you.
Well, it's also this, though, and this was a point that was brought up by a buddy of mine who plays. He says, feel free to celebrate being up 13-0, but if I slide tackle you and take you out, that's a consequence.
Yeah.
If you try to show me up and I decide to break your ankle, that's a consequence. So you do run that risk of trying to show up the other team that they're saying, hey, we'll throw a goon out there and you'll get elbowed in the head and you won't be able to play. Not saying that that's sportsmanlike or I'd want to see that happen, but that's very real. We see it in baseball with bat flipping. We see it with excessive celebrations in the NFL. Not as much. So
consider the stage that they're on, too. This isn't just some friendly. This is the World Cup.
Sure.
So it means a lot to some of these players. Sure, some like Alex Morgan scores lots of goals, but so it's not as big for somebody like her. But some of these players, they might not get a chance to score on that kind of a stage very often.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because you bring that up, and it's the old act like you've been there kind of thing. A lot of these women have never been there, and they're excited about it. And there is a goal differential.
It's every 4 years. So while some of these players have done this numerous times, like your Megan Rapinos of the world that have been in 5 World Cups and everything, you've got players like that. But you've also got girls on this team that this is their first World Cup.
They're women, Greg. What are you talking about, girls?
I just always say girls.
Lord,
It's habit.
It's not girls soccer. You're so sexist.
Yes,
so
I guess
sexist,
I am.
Greg. All right, no, listen. I don't think that the standard should be any different for men and women. I just think that, hey, if you're one of these people who thinks there's a right way to conduct yourself on the field, then you're going to think that, okay, being up by double digits in soccer especially, that's excessive celebration. But it's Thailand's job to stop them from celebrating, or you got to consider what's going to happen to you if you celebrate excessively. You may wind up in a boot. So,
and that's not to say that that's 100% right either.
No,
really,
I'm not advocating, but that's the way
stuff
the game
happens. That stuff happens.
Yeah. You go out and you show up your opponent. Bob Gibson wouldn't have it, man, on the baseball diamond back in the day. He wouldn't have it. There's all kinds of people react differently to different stimuli, and that could be one. All right, G-Man, I gotta roll. I'm out of time on this. I've got a story coming up about a guy who was suing a cryonics company to get his father's head back. What? That's next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our Mid-South seniors and a life well lived. Tune in to the Earl Farrell for Memphis show every Monday at 4 p.m. as we hear the inspiring stories from local seniors. We'll hear from Jake Shore, who at 78 still goes to work every day and heads up an annual Thanksgiving and Christmas Feed the Needy. We'll talk with Glenda Mace, who just turned 80 and leads a weekly yoga class for seniors, plus is a founder of Cloud9 Theater Company. And we'll talk with Leo Raymer, who is an active 91-year-old that when he was 66 sailed around the world by himself. Inspiring stories from the Mid-South seniors, Mondays at 4 all month long right here on The Voice, KWAM.
If you're in need of a professional cleaning service that takes your business as seriously as you do, call Jan Pro Cleaning Systems today. They understand how important it is to establish and maintain a professional image. That's why they offer the Jan Pro Signature Clean and the Jan Pro Guarantee. From regular scheduled cleaning to the tough stuff like stripping and waxing, buffing, carpet extractions, and detail cleaning, Jan Pro does it all. Call today for a free, no-obligation quote. 901-683-4900. Insured and bonded for your protection. Jan Pro Cleaning Systems. Measurable cleaning, guaranteed results.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lindoyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lindoyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
Brown Properties. They specialize in commercial and industrial real estate in all of North Mississippi.
He helped me locate a space and helped me get in so easily. The most professional, most accommodating person that I have ever worked with in my professional career.
I would absolutely recommend Jim Brown very highly. As a matter of fact, he'll be my real estate agent from now into the future for sure.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown with Brown Properties, commercial industrial real estate located in South Haven, Mississippi. Call me at 662-393-2255.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, Nation of Jake on YouTube. right, so came across this story, and this story is strange to quite strange. A man is suing a Scottsdale cryonics company out in Arizona for $1 million, and also for the return of his dad's frozen head. What? Lawrence Pilgrim, who grew up on a farm south of Great Falls, agreed to pay Alcor Life Extension Foundation $120,000 to preserve his body indefinitely at a temperature of minus 196 degrees Celsius in the outside hope that some future technology would restore his life. It's called cryonics. Now, we know that I think that we know Ted Williams, the Williams family, they looked into cryonics, and I believe that Ted Williams' head is currently frozen, the MLB great. But in April 2015, about a month after Pilgrim died in California, a box containing his ashes arrived at the home of his son, Kurt Pilgrim, 1,300 miles away in Dutton, Montana. It contained Pilgrim's body from the shoulders down, but his head had been separated and placed in a vat of liquid nitrogen in Arizona, where it presumably will remain forever, or at least until Mr. Pilgrim is restored. They chopped his head off, burned his body, put it in a box, and sent it to my house, according to Kurt Pilgrim. Kurt Pilgrim was stunned and angry the way his father's remains were handled. His father, he said, wanted his entire body preserved. Now Pilgrim is seeking damages in excess of $1 million and an apology from Alcor and the return of his father's head. I want people to know what's going on. I want people to know what's going on, says Kurt Pilgrim. Now, Alcor is saying, look, our agreement was with Lawrence, not with Kurt. How would you like it if your dying wish was to be cryonically frozen, and then your kid came up behind you and said, no, that's not what we want? So Alcor says, thank you very much, Kurt, but we're keeping your father's frozen head. You got the rest of the body. By the way, did he sign up for that? I mean, would you want in a box a month after your dad dies, a box arrives to your house full of his headless ashes? Woof! What if you didn't know about it? Oh my God, that you just get that. It's like, oh, what is this? Open a box. Oh, let's read the letter. Oh my God! This is my father. Where is his head? Well, his head is in Arizona, being frozen, right next to Ted Williams' head. This is weird stuff. I mean, I guess if you've got the extra $120,000, I guess it's worth a shot. Could you imagine that? I don't know, some 100 years from now, you come back to life. Good thing that Italian surgeon, Dr. Sergio Canavero, is trying to complete that head transplant, right? How would they do it? Would they upload your brain into another person? Would they take your cryonically frozen head and attempt to attach it to another body? Is that where the $120,000 goes? To source a body for your disembodied frozen head? I'm starting to think this might be a scam. And I also believe that this is going to be the plot to Frozen 3. All right, coming up, Johnny Cash statue has been unveiled. What other statues should we have here in Memphis? We'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
KWAM, your news and information station with CBS News updates every hour on the hour. KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Shaneby. President Trump has announced a joint declaration with Poland affirming defense cooperation.
As the declaration makes very clear, the United States and Poland are not only bound by a strategic partnership, but by deep common values, shared goals, and a very strong, and abiding friendship.
President Duda spoke through an interpreter.
There will be more American troops in Poland. This is going to be an enhanced cooperation. It's going to be an enduring presence.
The U.S. could move 2,000 more troops to Poland from Germany and other parts of Europe. There's also a deal in the works to sell some 30 F-35 fighter jets to Poland. The president today used executive privilege to block a House subpoena of documents related to administration efforts to put a citizenship question on census forms.
President Trump defended the citizenship question to White House reporters.
I think when a census goes out, you should find out whether or not, and you have the right to ask whether or not somebody is a citizen of the United States.
But Democrats worry the question would reduce immigrant participation in the population count, affecting everything from highway planning to political representation. House Oversight Committee Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I want to know why we have skipped every normal mandated procedure in testing how this question gets added in the census.
Steve Dorsey, CBS News, Washington.
A report released today charges that nursing facilities have failed to report thousands of cases of potential neglect and abuse of seniors on Medicare in violation of federal requirements. CBS's Vicki Barker.
A government watchdog says some 6,000 cases of possible neglect or abuse, serious enough to warrant a hospital visit, go unreported each year. The inspectors found staffers and even state inspectors are often unclear on federal requirements to report, and the elderly victims themselves can sometimes be too embarrassed or too frightened to complain of abuse or neglect. Officials for Medicare and Medicaid services say they're already moving to improve oversight. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
The investigation into Sunday's shooting of former Boston Red Sox star David Ortiz continues to expand in the Dominican Republic. A second arrest has been made, but it's unclear if this person is the suspected shooter. More on Ortiz from correspondent Mola Lenghi.
In Boston, Ortiz took his first steps in the hospital where he is recovering with the help of his family. He underwent a second exploratory surgery there in Boston and will stay in intensive care for at least a few more days to avoid any sort of internal bleeding and other complications.
On Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 42 points, the Nasdaq off 31, the S&P off 5. This is CBS News.
Would you risk your career or your life to go up against a big company if they were doing something wrong? Meet people who did. Whistleblower on CBS Friday.
You probably want to eat healthy, but getting enough organic fruits and vegetables into your diet every day is not only time-consuming, it's expensive. That's why at Texas Superfood, we've created a blend of the best USDA organic, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, powerful enzymes and probiotics, and energizing herbs, all in a convenient capsule or powder. We call it Texas Superfood Complete Organic. Hi, I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, and I invented Texas Superfood almost 20 years ago with one goal in mind: to help people like you who lead busy lives get the all-natural nutrition that every one of us needs and deserves. So if you can't, won't, or don't eat all your organic fruits and vegetables every day, Texas Superfood Complete Organic makes eating healthy easy. See our full line of quality nutritional products at TexasSuperfood.com or call us at 855-TEXAS-55. That's 855-TEXAS-55. TexasSuperfood.com.
To get good grades, get a good night's sleep. Matt Piper reports.
New research finds that delaying the start of middle and high school by about an hour can significantly improve student performance. The research is based on student experience at the Cherry Hill School District south of Denver. In 2017, it pushed back the high school opening bell by 70 minutes, and lead researcher Dr. Lisa Melzer at National Jewish Health says high schoolers reported getting an extra 48 minutes of sleep at night.
48 minutes a night over the course of a week of school is almost 4 full hours of extra sleep. That's a huge amount of increased sleep duration.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
Does your blood pressure get jacked up at the doctor's office? They call that white coat hypertension, but don't dismiss it. New research at the University of Pennsylvania suggests the odds of having a heart attack or stroke are a third higher in people who show elevated BP readings in the doctor's office, but normal readings elsewhere. Jim Sheneby, CBS News.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring is prime home buying season, so if you're thinking about buying a home, right now is the time to lock a low rate, which can save you money every month on your new mortgage. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Jake, where'd you get those boots?
But he's got meat between his ears.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live. The Listen Live link is in the top right corner. We're also on Facebook and the Twitter and the YouTube where you can watch the show. Just go to YouTube and search for Nation of Jake, but don't put any spaces in it, and you'll be fine. Old 99 AM, though, a lot of people still listen on the AM band. All right, it's been a haven for talk radio for some time. In 99 AM, it's 990. I don't know when we started going with the full numbers, but back in the day, it was always like, oh yeah, it's on 99 AM. Just the two. So I need 68 gold, all these different kind of stations. And it was always confusing. It was like, yeah, put it on the AM 99, on AM 56. Whatever all these stations were. Well, back when this was a station called KWEM, and if you ever hear the Earl Farrell history of KWAM, you would know that Johnny Cash had a big presence on 99 AM in Memphis back in the day. Come on air and play. That's how a lot of guys used to cut records. A lot of albums were in a radio station. That's just how it was done. Elvis would perform in radio stations. The Rolling Stones would perform in radio stations, and Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, would perform on this radio station, 99 AM. That's where we are right now. Well, he's going to have a bigger presence here in town. Check it out. The Johnny Cash statue has been unveiled today in Cooper Young. The Man in Black will be immortalized in bronze when the statue is unveiled Wednesday near the site of the singer's first public performance. The statue was sculpted by Memphis artist Mike McCarthy, a life-size statue, convincingly lanky and Lincoln-esque, detailed down to the wedding band on its powerful-looking left hand. It was erected Tuesday outside 999 South Cooper, a new apartment complex adjacent to the Galloway United Methodist Church, is where Johnny Cash and the Tennessee Two, guitarist Luther Perkins and bassist Marshall Grant, played for the first time, which was a Christmas season fundraiser for a women's Bible study group. That was Johnny Cash's first public appearance as Johnny Cash, which I think is cool. Look, Memphis is down a couple of statues. And depending on what you think of Memphis being down a couple of statues, we could always use more statues. I think statues are cool. All right, Mike McCarthy, who I've spoken to before, he's a irreverent guy. I mean, he does all kinds of stuff. He does movies. He's an artist. He's a fun guy to talk to. He was talking about statues, going, yeah, Memphis is understatued. And I never thought of that. I never thought of a city with regards to how many statues they have. Like, oh yeah, are we understatued? I had no idea. I didn't know that was a unit of measure. Are we understatued or overstatued? No idea. But he's been working on this Johnny Cash statue for a while, and he sculpted it himself, and it looks great. It did. I saw the photos online today. Statues are hit or miss. They really are. Now, have you seen some of the statues that came out in recent years? Oh, that Lucille Ball statue, that was stuff of nightmares. Especially, and I guess if Mike McCarthy were here, he would agree with me, when you sculpt a lady's face. you have to be so delicate. You cannot mess up a woman's face. Try to draw a woman, her face. Try to draw her. And you can't be too heavy. You can't do it. It's got to be delicate. And what they did to Lucille Ball was an abomination. Stuff of nightmares. But then they redid it and everything's cool now because they did it right. Same with Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo, is that his name, G-Man? Am I saying that right? Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo, handsome man, good-looking guy. They made him look like Ronald McDonald meets Sloth from the Goonies. It was terrible. It's like his face was smushed around. It looked bad bust, bad sculpture. So you got to be careful when you do this. You have to capture the likeness in a medium that you're limited. I mean, you really are. I mean, there isn't great sculptures, sure, but then it gets expensive. Mike McCarthy did an awesome job on the Johnny Cash statue there in Cooper Young. From when the pictures I've seen. You know, I've seen some really bad statues. You know, the aforementioned Lucille Ball and Ronaldo. But also, you know, the Ronald McDonald statues, those are hit or miss. I mean, there's probably more statues of Ronald McDonald than any other icon anywhere in the country. If we could maybe get some research on that, that would be great. But I'm willing to bet, just anecdotally, that there's more Ronald McDonald statues than statues of any other one icon. All right? But even some of those. I was at a McDonald's in Chicago, and there was a bronze Ronald McDonald statue, and oh man, it was maybe worse than the Lucille Ball. Oof. I mean, just nightmarish, hideous, grotesque even. So, with this statue, coated in an appropriately black patina, it's based on a 1962 portrait of Johnny Cash by photographer Lee Weiner. Retains its impassive dignity. It was swathed in bubble wrap, hoisted by a strap attached to a crane provided by West Memorials, a company that generally places gravestones. Steel rods in its base were sunk into holes in the ground as the statue was lowered into place among a mosaic of bricks inscribed with the names of donors to the project. The total cost of this statue, $65,000. Not cheap. Not cheap. Now, McCarthy sculpted this, and I don't know if he did this in a living room or in a shop or whatever, but the guy's got some skills. 400-pound statue. It's going to be a nice addition to Cooper Young. You know, people can ride by. It'll be a landmark. Meet me by the Johnny Cash statue. Johnny Cash, a beloved character in history. His career was resurrected by Rick Rubin. And you might recall, because, you know, Johnny Cash, you know him, Man in Black, Boy Named Sue, One Piece at a Time, all the great stuff he did with his wife, June Carter Cash. But then in the 90s, his career was kind of low in the 80s and 90s. And then Rick Rubin, the producer behind, some genius stuff, behind the Beastie Boys, Rick Rubin did some Slayer stuff. He was like a rock and metal and hip-hop icon, was Rick Rubin with American Records. He decided to get together with Johnny Cash and have him play a lot of these covers. And Johnny Cash did a cover, I believe, of Soundgarden's Rusty Cage. And he also did one that went huge, was his cover of Nine Inch Nails' Hurt. And it was really powerful, a great video. So that introduced Johnny Cash to a whole new generation. And Johnny Cash has roots in the area. You know, he's from Arkansas, you know, part of the whole Sun Records crew. Ran around, did tours with Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and those guys. So I'm glad that we got a statue that I think everybody of all ages can get behind and be proud of. So very cool. Again, it was brought to my attention, I think by Mike McCarthy, that Memphis was under-statued. What other statues should we have? I mean, considering that we're down a few statues, there's other great statues in town. You got the Elvis statue on Beale, W.C. Handy. We've also got Tom Lee. The Tom Lee statue What a powerful representation that is of the lives saved by Tom Lee. And what a courageous man he was down at Tom Lee Park. There's other statues, other places that commemorate fictional characters, which I think is pretty cool. There's the Rocky statue. You got the Rocky Stairs in the Rocky statue, Rocky Balboa in Philadelphia. That one's a landmark and an icon. Tourists come from all over the world to get their photo taken with the Rocky statue. How about the Detroit? Detroit decided that they wanted a RoboCop statue. Yeah, they raised enough money, kind of in the same ballpark as the $65,000 for the Cash statue. The RoboCop statue, this is about 10 years ago. It was kind of like a joke. They're like, oh, we need a statue of RoboCop, in which the film 1987 RoboCop took place in Detroit, Michigan. And, the Detroit City Council is like, no, get out of here. We're going bankrupt. We don't have the money to spend on a RoboCop statue. And why in the hell would we put a RoboCop statue up? Well, a bunch of private citizens were like, hell yeah, we're going to do that. And it is now at the Michigan Science Center, the RoboCop statue. I love it. What are some other statues, some icons that we need in Memphis, seeing as how Memphis is understatued? I threw that question out on the Facebook page. Just go find Nation of Jake on Facebook. Here we go. Some obvious ones. Jerry Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler. Should there be a statue of Jerry Lawler, say, outside of the grounds of the Coliseum? Should they ever figure out what's going to happen to the Coliseum? Oh, man, think about that. If you made the Coliseum into a wrestling museum, like a WWE museum, maybe just something affiliated with pro wrestling. It doesn't have to be WWE. It could be the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame at the Coliseum, and have all these statues of great wrestlers, especially ones from Memphis. Ric Flair, woo, was born in Memphis. Coco Beware. Oh, I got a great story about Coco Beware. Coco Beware came to my cafeteria when I was in grade school at Germantown Middle. So Coco Beware was standing there. I'm sorry, he was not standing. He took his throne on the stage in the cafeteria, because our cafeteria had a stage where we would all line up and wait in the lunch line. And he shows up unannounced. Our principal, Ted Wells at the time, he got up and he said, as you may see, we have a visitor. This is Coco Aware. Because I remember he said his name wrong. And so he was there. He had like his parrot or cockatoo. And Coco Beware is just sitting there, and so he starts to sign autographs. The only thing that I had for him to sign was my dollar. So I had Coco Beware sign my lunch money, which I then had to turn around and immediately give to the lunch lady for my lunch. Worst story ever. But that's my brush with Coco Beware. That'd be a great one. Lance Russell and Dave Brown. And just have all the statues around the Coliseum of all these Memphis wrestling greats. That's an idea. We've had some other suggestions. Mongo. Mandy says Prince Mongo. I could get down with a Mongo statue. And right out there in front of Ashlar Hall, where he used to run his nightclub. We've got the Jerry Lawlers. Oh. Chris Best says Ron Childers should be a statue. I don't know if Ron's there yet. Jimmy says Aretha Franklin. Yeah, listen, they're talking about making Aretha Franklin's birth home into a museum and gift shop. Why not have an Aretha Franklin statue right out front? I like it. Ed says Sean Lane, great guitar player from Memphis, should have a statue commemorating him. Hans, he's gotten a little existential on me. He's going national. He thinks we need statues of Friedrich Nietzsche, Harriet Tubman with her rifle or handgun, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the great political philosopher, Newton, that would be Isaac, Sir, and Marie Curie. Marie Curie, great scientist from France. I can be convinced of all those. I like all those suggestions. If we're keeping it more Memphis, though, how about a statue of one of my favorite guys, Michael Donahue? And we're talking about icons. Michael Donahue statue. But he would have to have, lifelike hair. You couldn't, sculpt the hair of Michael Donahue in bronze. Can he sculpt that out of clay, dip it in bronze? We got to get Mike McCarthy in here. And so just with KWAM's history with Johnny Cash and this Johnny Cash statue, we need Mike McCarthy in here, take us into the process by which this statue was made, because he did a great job. Maybe we can get him to do a statue or a bust of Michael Donahue, or at the very least a sculpture, but with the lifelike hair. It's got to flow. Maybe we can have Michael Donahue consent to a head shaven, have a wig made out of his actual hair, use that for the statue, and then we can do like a time-lapse video of him growing his hair back. I like it. Any more ideas on the statue? We will revisit this later in the program. Coming up, oh, I love these. A government waste report. Yeah, government waste report. Yeah, you love this kind of stuff. Let's find out what the federal government is spending our money on that has nothing to do with helping anyone or advancing us anywhere. It's government fraud, waste, and abuse coming up next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and healthcare is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab, near Forest Hill Irene and Walnut Grove in Cordova. 901-758-0036. Providence Assisted Living in Senatobia. Quality senior living in a caring environment. Call 662-562-9229.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
ATC Fitness would like to announce their new partnership with Silver Sneakers. That's right, ATC Fitness now accepts Silver Sneakers members. ATC Fitness is your local, family-owned 24-hour gym. Get started on the right track with their easy-to-follow instructions and demonstrations. Remember, if you are a Silver Sneakers member, come to any ATC Fitness throughout the Mid-South. Check them out online at atcfitness.com to find the nearest location to you.
KWAM, The Voice, salutes our Mid-South seniors and a life well lived. Tune in to the Earl Farrell for Memphis show every Monday at 4 p.m. as we hear the inspiring stories from local seniors. We'll hear from Jake Shore, who at 78 still goes to work every day and heads up an annual Thanksgiving and Christmas Feed the Needy. We'll talk with Glenda Mace, who just turned 80 and leads a weekly yoga class for seniors, plus is a founder of Cloud9 Theater Company. And we'll talk with Leo Raymer, who is an active 91-year-old that when he was 66 sailed around the world by himself. Inspiring stories from the Mid-South seniors, Mondays at 4 all month long right here on The Voice, KWAM.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. And we're streaming live on YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel and then tell your friends about it. Easy to do. Share it with them there on YouTube or on the Facebook. I'm also there at Nation of Jake and on Twitter at Nation of Jake. You can get me anywhere on the interwebs that you want, but I'm here from 1 to 3 weekdays on The Voice, FM 107.9 and 99 AM. Yeah, old school. All right, coming up in a little bit, we got the news cruise, all the headlines from around town and the world. But I always like to see this. This is the government waste report. Every year, there are these watchdog groups that come out with a report on just goofy stuff the taxpayer money gets spent on. An anti-government waste group has identified millions of taxpayer dollars allegedly frittered away on absurd nature-related earmarks, including $9 million to quarantine fruit flies. I get fruit flies in my house around this time of year. It's gross. I feel like our house is dirty or something, but we have fruit. We have apples. We have bananas. We have oranges, all kinds of fruit in my house. And so $9 million of taxpayer money is spent on quarantining them, I'm told. Also, $13.8 million to manage wild horses. Now, before I get into this, here's the problem with these reports, is that you look at the numbers, you say $9 million. Oh, that's not even a drop in the bucket in comparison to the entire budget. And it makes you start thinking that $9 million is not a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And that's what you have to keep in mind when you're looking at this kind of stuff. Think about what you personally, just you, could do with $9 million. You could live comfortably the rest of your life. So I don't care how many little projects or how big a budget is. $9 million is a lot of money. It's more money than a lot of people will ever see. So, we've got the 2019 Congressional Pig Book, released today by Citizens Against Government Waste. The report identifies what it describes as egregious examples of pork barrel spending in Congress, drawn fiscal 2019 appropriation bills, drawn from those bills. This year, the group said it identified $15.3 billion in earmarks. Billion with a B. $15.3 billion in earmarks, an increase of 4.1% from the $14.7 billion last year. Pushing pork does not drain the swamp, and it won't restore integrity to Washington, says Tom Schatz, the president of the group. Schatz wrote in an op-ed for Fox Business Network that perhaps the most flagrant earmark this year is $16.7 million for a research organization called the East-West Center, added by Hawaii Senator Brian Schatz, Democrat from Hawaii. His earmark represents the center's entire budget, keeping it alive, even though its counterpart, the North-South Center, stopped receiving federal funding in 2001. The East-West Center should not be able to stand on its own, or should be, without taxpayer support as well. The report identifies other pricey earmarks. We've got $65 million to help recover Pacific coastal salmon, $12 million to control aquatic plants, $7.9 million to purchase fish screens, and $863,000 to eradicate brown tree snakes in Guam. $863,000 for a Guamish St. Patrick chase the snakes out of Guam. The fruit fly program apparently was resumed after a 10-year pause. Further, according to the report, the $9 million earmarked for this year represents a 1,819% increase over the roughly $500,000 set aside for fruit fly research, eradication, or quarantine a decade ago. A decade ago, it was $500,000 to study fruit flies. 10 years later, it's $9 million. What happened in the last 10 years that we said, hey, let's get that fruit fly research back? And we cut it out in 2009. Now the fruit flies are out of control. We need to research these guys. Or there's not enough fruit flies. Or what's happening with the fruit flies? I don't know. You got $9 million. I guess we'll find out. Schatz said these examples show that earmarks still corrupt Congress, waste taxpayer money, and erode trust in government. So yeah, these are pretty bad. We've also got 7 earmarks totaling $1.8 billion for the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, including 8 Air Force planes, 6 Navy planes, and 2 for the Marines. In development for nearly 18 years and 8 years behind schedule, total acquisition costs now exceed $428 billion, nearly double the initial estimate of the $233 billion. So yeah, a lot of these aircraft, I guess there's one that's kind of like a plane copter hybrid they've been working on. So there's government waste everywhere. And it's not just, the frivolous, goofy sounding stuff like the mating rituals of brown quail or whether or not frogs can be turned into gays, Alex Jones stuff, all the conspiracy stuff. It's also the overspending on vehicles for defense. So it's good. We waste so much money. And then a guy like Jon Stewart, who goes before Congress, he's talking about, hey, can you guys just approve the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund? Can we get the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund up to snuff so people don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to receive medical care for all these awful diseases that they've gotten since rushing into a tumbling down building back in 2001? Can we please do that? Well, we're going to put that on hold, but let's make sure we get $9 million to the fruit fly guy. So it's always fun to look at all the waste. It's fun at first. I mean, it's fun to see what kind of goofy experiments are getting federal funding. But then when you really think about it, you're like, oh my God. I mean, it's very easy to spend other people's money. And also, you've got people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez advocating for a pay raise for Congress. Who in Congress is going to vote against that? Well, there will be some who say, no, we're not going to vote ourselves a pay raise. The cool thing is, the last time the Constitution was amended was 1992. And when I talk about constitutional amendments, I always, with that, talk about how the support for an amendment has to be so overwhelming in favor of, because you have to get 67% of Congress and then the country to get on board. Well, you know what the last constitutional amendment was? The 27th Amendment in 1992? It was that members of Congress cannot vote themselves a pay raise within the same term. They have to be reelected in order to get that pay raise. That's the last time our country was so united behind an amendment to get it passed. And now they're talking about, $174,000 isn't enough. We need another $4,500 because we're doing such a great job, are we, Congress? Yeah, you know what you should do is go back and watch the Jon Stewart speech in front of the House Judiciary yesterday, and you tell me if Congress deserves a raise. All those empty chairs when he's talking about the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. All right, coming up, we've got headlines in the news cruise. We'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News update. President Trump and Polish President Duda have signed a joint declaration affirming defense cooperation.
Our people are united by the enduring ties of civilization, culture, and history. We respect the rule of law, revere individual rights, and prize our timeless traditions. We embrace country, faith, family, and freedom.
And the deal will include more U.S. troops to Poland, as well as an expected sale of advanced fighter jets. President Duda spoke through an interpreter.
The agreements that we're signing, hence two agreements between our two states, concluded today two memorandums of understanding, which we signed just a moment ago. One of them I signed personally, concerning the security and military cooperation.
And President Trump says the 2,000 U.S. troops would probably be moved from Germany or other parts of Europe where they are now stationed. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Chenlevy.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
When you're planning an event and need on-time delivery, call Odell Sanders. Sanders Catering has been in business for 31 years, specializing in breakfast, lunch, dinners, corporate, and social events. When you need a caterer to work with your budget, call Odell Sanders at 901-372-2631 or visit them online at sanderscatering.com and take a look at their menu. Sanders Catering, a leader in catering services. Call today at 901-372-2631. Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
This is Clark Howard with a special warning for you. Scams move around, and there's a new alert from the Federal Trade Commission that the Social Security scams have totally eclipsed the ones where people pretend to be from the IRS. Why are these hot right now? Because they're working. The amount of money being stolen from people by fake Social Security impersonators up by 500% in just a couple of months. The way it works is you get a phone call typically that says that the caller ID is from Social Security Administration. And it doesn't matter if you're a recipient or not, they are trying to get your Social Security number out of you for many different reasons that they'll use. And people are coughing them up, and then the criminals are using that to engage in identity theft or to try to get to your bank account. Know that if you get a call pretending to be from Social Security, just like the IRS, hang up.
Have you heard about Newsmax TV? It's America's fastest-growing cable news channel in 70 million homes. Every minute, every day. Watch Newsmax for breaking news on President Trump. Plus, get insights from Bill O'Reilly, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, Mike Reagan, and more. You can find Newsmax TV on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Optimum, Spectrum, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and dozens of cable systems. So check your guide now and watch Newsmax TV. Real news for real people.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
HomeAdvisor.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube. Go to YouTube.com, search Nation of Jake, but don't use any spaces, just Nation of Jake. Nation of Jake. Run it all together, and then you will see the YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. Also, subscribe to the Nation of Jake podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, also Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, wherever fine podcasts are heard. And then some highlights will follow on the Nation of Jake Facebook page, so be sure and follow Nation of Jake on Twitter and Facebook. It's a lot to do, I know. Just do one of them today, one tomorrow. Listen, I'm not picky about it. Or don't do it at all. I really don't care. We've got some headlines. We do this on the news cruise. Yeah. Hop on a boat. Breathe that fresh, clean air. Woo!
News. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The news cruise. Full of exciting news. The news cruise. So relax and kick off your shoes.
Welcome aboard the News Cruise. It's brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services. You can get in touch with those guys, 751-3934. 751-3934. And the reason you would want to get in touch with those guys is if you've got a bunch of stuff in your gutters, that's where mosquitoes like to breed. They get busy in your gutters when it's wet and there's a bunch of stuff. Ants get in there too. It causes all kinds of problems, not just for the flow of water in your downspouts, also the bugs in the West Nile, and nobody wants West Nile virus. We've established that. Also, they offer pressure washing. So if you're out by the pool, you got your walkways, you want to spend some time outside in this great weather we're having, don't do it in squalor. Just have your whole place pressure washed, even your house. Your siding, got a bunch of nastiness on it, get it off there. Have the guys from Just Windows Home Services come out. They can give you an estimate. That estimate is free. And if you tell them you heard about Just Windows Home Services on the Nation of Jake, you get 20% off that estimate. So give them a call, 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. All right, first up in the news cruise, some funny business going on with these elections coming up in October. We covered this at length around Election Day last year. Remember the whole instant runoff voting? 10 years ago, the citizens of the great city of Memphis decided we want instant runoff voting, we want ranked choice voting. It's where you give your preferences of candidates. You rank them 1, 2, and 3, and it's kind of like the Baseball Hall of Fame. You get how many first place votes, second place votes, third place votes, and it eliminates the need for any runoffs. It'll save money. It'll save time. It seems to be more fair, I think. It's more efficient. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this fall in the city elections. Why? Well, it's all hung up in the courts now, which is crazy because the citizens are very clear. They wanted it. But then, I guess the city council and the election commission, everybody dragged their feet and dragged their feet and dragged their feet. Then they had all that referendum on getting rid of the instant runoff voting before they even implemented it. And now it's all in the courts. It's odd. The Memphis City Council has now won a motion to intervene in this lawsuit over instant runoff voting. And so, because it's unpopular with the Memphis City Council, they could try to spike the case. City Council Attorney Alan Wade said to Ryan Poe for the commercial appeal yesterday that he will not work. They're not going to try to block instant runoffs, although the council will oppose using the voting method this fall, October 3rd, or spending any city tax dollars on the project. It's like, why you should always wait till the last minute? You knew this was coming. As soon as the citizens voted in favor of instant runoff voting, there should have been a plan to implement it, and you only had, 10 years? A decade. You knew it was coming for a decade, and you can't get it together. And in fact, you're like, oh, this is coming up. This is bad for us. Let's Hail Mary and try to get rid of it and hope that, get a really convolutedly worded referendum, very confusing to people. And then they tried to spend, $40,000, or they did spend $40,000 of taxpayer money in order to vote in favor of the referendum to repeal the instant runoff. It's a mess. Well, essentially what they're saying is they're going to try to block it from the city elections and then kick the can down the road. The voters are very clear. They voted in favor of instant runoff voting 10 years ago, and they rejected any measure to get rid of it a few short months ago. So get on it. City Council, Election Commission, all of you. People want this. They were very clear about it. Oh, Governor Lee is in town. He's got a couple of days he's spending in Memphis, signed the expungement bill that would reduce or eliminate some of the fees with regards to getting your record expunged. He says to WMC Action News 5, he's real excited about Bluff City Law being filmed in Memphis. The state of Tennessee greenlit about $4.25 million in incentives, more than half of that coming from the state. Governor Lee says it's a good investment, and of course he does. He says we're excited to give out incentives for that, for a show like Bluff City Law. Anything we can do to promote Shelby County and Memphis, we think this is going to be a great opportunity to do that. It'll be good for economic activity and for the community. See, Bill Lee gets it. Bill Lee's a businessman. He understands. Excuse me. Bill Lee understands that giving incentives is not the same as just cutting a check. Nobody wins if Bluff City Law picks up and goes to film in Louisiana or in Georgia. That's just money that Shelby County and the state of Tennessee is missing out on. So, $4.25 million in incentives. That's a far cry from the $10 million they were looking for. And I'm telling you, Bill Lee knows the strategy in Shelby County. Get to Shelby County, say nice things about Shelby County, you'll do okay in Shelby County. Oh, we've got some crime here. A man faces 15 charges of arson after being accused of setting fire to vacant homes. Well, I'm glad they were vacant, but you can't do that. That's against the law. Fire crews were called to vacant house fires Fraser Drive near 5 p.m. Shortly after battling that fire, they were called to a second vacant home on the same street. Now, I don't want to minimize the seriousness of burning down vacant homes. I'm glad they were vacant. I'm glad there weren't children in those. But a house fire, even in a vacant home, can spread very quickly to a home that's not vacant. So don't go around arsoning with vacant homes or not. Just don't do it. Investigators were able to find the person of interest in the area, detained him, and charged him with arson. I guess this fella, 27-year-old Devon Robertson, responsible for setting 15 different fires, allegedly, all over the place. You gotta wonder if this guy had a boss. Somebody who wanted to see those places burned down, gave him the addresses, and said, hey, arson. Go do it. So he's off the street, and I'm sure they'll find out, because a guy like that's going to roll on whoever made him do it or told him to do it. We'll find out more in the Nation of Jake. We've got an accused copper thief. He's causing $160,000 damage to Southland Mall. He got onto the roof of Southland Mall 2 separate times and then stole the copper from the air conditioning units, causing $160,000 worth of damage. You know, that's insane. You know, I see in a lot of neighborhoods, people having to, build cages around their HVAC units for that reason. And they put them on the roof for that reason, too. They can't just be, right outside. People will steal anything. Copper. Steal the whole units. So, yeah, this guy, I guess they're looking for him. They are looking for him. They think that he's in a Toyota Tacoma with Arkansas tags or a silver or gray Chevy Silverado. Unknown plates. The investigation is ongoing. Oh, check this one out. This we'll leave it on this one. This is one of those situations where somebody was either joking or playing around, or they just do not know how to conduct themselves in a business-like manner. This is from Oxford, Mississippi, down Ole Miss Way. A restaurant employee in Oxford was fired after a picture of a racist receipt from a drive-thru surfaced on Twitter. Alexa Washington stopped to grab something to eat at Whodats last week and noticed a slur at the top of her receipt. She reported it to the manager, who made the unidentified employee apologize for what he wrote. He typed it in. I guess it was the description of the employee. Something told me to look at my receipt, said Alexa Washington. So I looked at it, and it had black biatch and silver car. She says, for one, my car isn't silver. And for two, I wasn't rude. I didn't have any type of hostility. And he didn't have any type of hostility with me. But he proceeded to write black biatch on my receipt in a silver car. And she said my car's not silver. Well, it's very simple. He wasn't talking about you. It's the wrong receipt. If you didn't have a silver car, it's not you. Or he gave you the merchant copy and not the customer copy. In all likelihood, thought he was being funny, and he would do that. He didn't think she would look at the receipt, or he mistakenly put the receipt in there. Still, rightfully fired. You cannot do that. The business Whodats in Oxford apologized in a statement on Facebook. So there you have it. There's the news cruise. We're going to wrap things up, get you set up for the Earl Farrell program. We'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
Planning for retirement can be confusing and overwhelming. Tune in to the Servant Retirement Show to hear the current news and events today's retirees need to know. Every Saturday morning at 8 on KWAM, The Voice, AM 990. If you want to talk to Dan Groban or Philip Menard today about your retirement plans, call the team at Servant Advisors Group, 855-260-1000. That's 855-260-1000. Get started on the path toward a comfortable retirement today. 855-260-1000.
Looking for a cool way to get a new home comfort system without breaking the bank? The Advantage program from Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning gets you a high-quality home comfort system for one low monthly rate. There's no money down, never a charge for repairs, and seasonal tune-ups are free. Right now, get a new home comfort system as low as $99 a month and no additional charges ever. Call Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning today at 866-EXPERTS or visit ServiceExpertsMemphis.com.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
Appella is a nonprofit organization that is committed to the promotion of independence among their clients. Many seniors are not ready or do not need to move to an assisted living facility, but they need some help to continue living in their own homes. Appella's team of care specialists provide assistance with daily tasks that become difficult as our bodies age. Appella is locally operated and serves the North Mississippi area. Call them today at 662-429-3652 or visit appella.org.
I'm Ed Parami, the owner of JanPro, the franchise that helps you be your own boss. JanPro is now the fastest growing franchise in the entire world for the second year in a row by Entrepreneur Magazine. We are growing so fast we need new business owners right here in Memphis right now. So if you want to be your own boss and open your own business, call JanPro at 901-683-4900 to see just how easy it is to be your own boss. For as little as $950 down, you can be a part of JanPro. Don't waste another minute. Call 901-683-4900.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
Yeah, the Nation of Jake is on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube. Just for a few minutes more here, so we can just set up with the Earl Farrell program coming up in about 10 minutes, right after the CBS News. All right, right now, news is big in the news. You got the news, you got the fake news, you got the president calling the media the enemy of the people. In fact, Jim Acosta, who was the White House correspondent for CNN, just released a book yesterday called Enemy of the People, Dangerous Time to Tell the Truth in America. Jim Acosta, the grandstanding Jim Acosta, Make It About Me, Jim Acosta. All right, now, you might wonder why somebody like Donald Trump would call the media the enemy of the people and call news fake news, because there's a lot of it out there. Listen, I'm not a fake news kind of guy. I will read something and I will determine whether or not I think it's credible. I will cross-reference. I will read from different sources to differentiate between, okay, what is fact and then what is being framed. How news is being framed is almost everything. And to prove my point, I'll read you this from Twitter. This is from the political website The Hill, which usually does a pretty good job with their coverage. That is, if you read all the coverage. But whoever's tweeting for The Hill is being dishonest and doing a disservice to people who actually, do news and proper journalism. The tweet, according to The Hill, reads as follows. Just in, Trump administration to send migrant children to former Japanese internment camp, with a link. All right, that should stoke outrage, right? Trump administration to send migrant children to former Japanese internment camp. Japanese internment is a very ugly chapter in the history of our country. FDR sent Japanese Americans into essentially concentration camps during World War II. So this, you're thinking, oh my God, how dare Donald Trump is sending these migrant children to a Japanese internment camp? So yeah, I'm going to click that link. Or maybe not. Or maybe I'm just going to be outraged and retweet it. You see what I'm saying? You just read that. People who wake up angry that Donald Trump is president, they're just going to go, yeah, retweet, can't believe this monster, what he's doing. Well, when you click the link, the headline changes, not by much. Now it says, Trump administration to send migrant children to army base once used as Japanese internment camp. All right, so it's an army base that was once doubled as a Japanese internment camp. And then when you read further, you read that the site also was used as a shelter in 2014 under the Obama administration. Huh, weird. I'm going to go back to the archives of The Hill or whatever news sites there are and search for the similar headline when President Obama was in office and see if there was any outrage over President Obama sending people to the same site when he uses a shelter. Like it's holding children there. Fort Sill is the name of it. And because it was once used as an internment camp, that is the tweet. That's how it's being framed. And that does not tell the whole story. That is dishonest. And then you wonder why anybody would have a distrust of the media. Do you wonder? I don't. I just don't believe anything I read. I try to read everything, and I try to get the whole story. But too often, people just read the tweets, read the top line, and there you go. All right, Earl Farrell is up next. I'll be back tomorrow at 1. In the meantime, so long, and thanks for all the fish.
CBS News at the top of every hour, serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. This is The Voice, KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket